All right, welcome back to the show. Sully, let's get to the trivia question quick, and I just want to touch on something. The ESPN Magazine, or the Magazine interview, LeSean McCoy was upset about Chip Kelly letting which player go? And that was, of course, Deshaun Jackson. Michael Vick was a pretty good answer, but I knew the answer myself, too. And Bryce Brown, I don't know if anybody was upset about that. Let me ask you something real quick, just back to the Brady thing.
Sure.
Why doesn't the NFL just, rather than have these quarterbacks decide the pressure, just make it universal? I mean, in baseball, they play with the same ball. It's the only sport where the ball can change from team to team. It should just be 12.5 or whatever they decide.
I think the opposite. I think it's a quarterback league. It's a quarterback league. Why have this small range of PSI? I mean, the quarterbacks themselves, led by Brady, wanted to have their own visiting balls, and the league said it was okay because the league does what quarterbacks want. Every new rule in the league is to make it easier on quarterbacks.
Then don't have any. Then don't have any restrictions.
Have the PSI go 11.5 to 14.5. This shouldn't be a big deal. You shouldn't have to cheat to get the ball a little easier for you to handle.
Then don't have any restrictions on it.
You said it doesn't make a difference.
Then don't have any restrictions on it.
So you can have a ball that's deflated.
Sure.
Totally.
Use a Nerf ball. I don't care if that's how it is.
All right. Well, you had to bring it up, and we disagree. And so
I did.
Yeah. Well, we don't agree to disagree. That's one of my pet peeves.
It's okay to be wrong.
Don't ever say agree to disagree in my presence.
It's okay for you to be wrong. Shady McCoy. Don't look at me like that. You're way too close to me.
That was not a good look the other day.
No.
Another one of my pet peeve phrases.
Was it bad form?
Oh, no. What I hate is optics. Suddenly everyone's talking about the optics. Where did that come from? Optics is something that the optometrist. I've never heard optics before. But one person writes it, says it on ESPN, and now everyone's saying optics. I'm sorry.
I'm with you.
I can't think of the word, but I got off base.
Imagine.
Look, McCoy, seriously, and race is a serious topic in this country right now. There's people dying. There's riots. And to make guys getting removed from teams in a 70% black sport and talk about this coach doesn't like black guys, I don't know about Chip Kelly. I don't know if he's a racist. I don't know who's a racist and who isn't. But it just seemed cheap. And I think it's lingering resentment that he got traded. That's what I think it is. And I didn't like what he did the other day. I wrote the column. I think he should shut up and come to Buffalo and leave this Chip Kelly thing behind him once and for all.
I thought that in his attempt to magnify the issue, I thought that he trivialized it, actually, the whole race issue. Because people looked at him, for the most part, and blew him off in both cities, and said basically they dismissed the argument and thought it was stupid. I mean, you had a great column the other day, Sully, and you mentioned the percentage of players that are black in the league. He has signed all kinds of black players that have come and go, and white players too, by the way. This guy wants to win. I can't imagine that. I mean, he's talking about Deshaun Jackson, and I think there's a certain underlying feeling that he's also talking about himself, that in fact he was let go because he's black. I didn't get that at all. And Chip Kelly, really, Sully, does he have any history of that whatsoever?
Not that I know of. I mean, I didn't ever hear about the Oregon program being lily white because of him. I mean, look, most of the significant players on offense on the Patriots that won the Super Bowl were white, by the way. I don't ever hear Belichick being called a racist. The guy has players that he thinks can win, and a lot of them happen to be white. Players leave. Again, 70% black league. If McCoy really cares about what happens to black players in the league and how they're treated in the league that does treat players like meat, doesn't have guaranteed contracts, the only major sport, get more involved in the union, try to fight for players for guaranteed contracts, fight for the former players, better compensation for injuries, get involved in concussions. Do something meaningful if you care so much about players.
So where do you go from here? Because Rex Ryan made it clear, like, he's not going to muzzle his players, and I like that, by the way.
Well, muzzle, what is muzzle?
He's not going to talk to him and tell him to restrict what he's saying. I mean, muzzle's a little bit strong, but that's, the point that he was trying to make. He's not going to tell his players to shut up, and I don't think he's going to try and contain them anyway. I mean, nobody can contain that guy right there. So for him to go out and tell his players to zip it, or to speak, in guarded ways, then that doesn't work for Rex either. It certainly doesn't work for us.
There's a difference between candid and stupid. I don't mind players being candid. Let's face it, we're reporters. I can't wait for next season with Rex Ryan. You never know what he's going to say. You get guys in that team. but just don't be stupid. Don't do what the Cleveland Cavaliers did and have a promotional video that shows a woman getting beat up and try to make it out to be funny.
All right, Sully, listen, we're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back and we're going to talk more about, we have the NHL, the NBA coming up. Make sure you stay with us here on the Bucky and Sully Show.